Hi, it's Divyajyoti Mahapatra. Welcome to my channel DJM Physics. Welcome students. Today we will discuss some questions, some around 10 to 12 very important numericals and conceptual questions. Those are very important for JEE Main and NEET exam, and they may also come sometimes as higher order thinking questions in board exams. Okay. So here there is a XY plane is given, whose side is A as shown in this figure, and there is a electric field given by this E vector equal to E naught x k cap. From the expression itself it is clear that the electric field is not constant, it depends upon the value of x. E naught is a constant, but the net electric field depends upon the value of x also, and the direction is k cap. In this diagram z axis is like this coming outward, so in k cap direction means the electric field lines are like this. Okay, everywhere the electric field lines are coming outward to the paper. And remember these two symbol, this symbol represents any line or any vector moving inward to the paper, and this symbol represents any vector coming outward to the paper. Okay, so here I have shown this electric field like this. The electric field is not actually here, I am just giving the symbol here, the electric field is everywhere here. Okay, but it is not a uniform one. So you have first let me explain what do you mean by not a uniform one. See, if it depends upon the value of x, while the electric field is coming at this region, okay, through this line coming outward, for that value it will be 0, because x value is 0 at this line. Similarly at this line the x has a different values. Okay, so at this point the electric field will be different because it depends upon x. Similarly like this the electric field will gradually goes on increasing because the x value is going on increasing, and the electric field line those are coming through this line, that will have a value of E naught into A into k cap, because at this point x has a value of A. So throughout this plane, okay, the electric field is not uniform, it is changing with the value of x. What is the angle between the electric field vector and area vector? As we know, this is an area and its direction will be perpendicular. Okay, in outward or inward, any way you can take, but here let I am taking that the direction is like this, means kk. So by using the definition of flux, I can write flux will be equal to E vector dot ds vector. Okay, you cannot write here E dot s because it is not a uniform field. Now what is ds vector? We have assumed a small element somewhere here. Okay, small element here on the plane. Remember, small element means not only a small thing or a small area or something like that. Small element should be chosen like in such a way that if you extend that, you should get the total structure that is given. Means if you are assuming here a some strip like thing and I will extend this strip, then I can get this total area. You cannot tell, sir, this is a elementary area, this is an elementary area. No, you cannot tell, because by extending this you cannot guess this square, cannot get the square. Okay, so I have assumed a strip here, a small elementary area, and the strip or the elementary area is laid at a distance of x, small x, from the origin, and this has a thickness of dx, a very small thickness of dx. Okay, and what will be its area? Again it will be perpendicularly outward direction. So what will be ds here will be, see what will be E vector? E vector given is like this, E naught x k cap, okay, dot ds vector is, what is the value of area? Area is equal to this height into this length. Okay, so this height is going to be a, because as we know that this is a square, every side is a, so this is going to be a again, and this width is nothing but dx, so it is nothing but a dx k cap. Why k cap? Because the direction is outward. You can either write like this or you can write like E naught into x into a into dx into cos 0 degree, because the electric field is also perpendicularly outward here. Okay, and this area vector is also in the z direction, outward direction. Okay, so if I will write it, I will get, it will be equal to E naught into x into a dx. but E naught and A are constant, so I can take them outside and integration of x dx. Now, what will be the limit for this x? See, what is x? X is the distance of this strip from the origin. So, if we choose a element here, x value will be 0. If we will choose the element here, x value will be this, that is A. So, what is the x value changing from 0 to okay. So, I can write it as E naught into A into x square by 2 integration of x dx and limit from 0 to A. So, it will be E naught into A into A square by 2, or I can write flux will be equal to E naught into A cube by 2. This is the answer. Is it clear? So, not only just remember this answer, you have to remember why we have chosen a strip, why not directly using the formula flux equal to E vector dot S vector. Why we have not used this? Because it is not a uniform one. Now, if it is not a uniform one, how to solve it? By taking a small area element, okay, and then use this formula, you will get the answer. Okay. Now, let us come to the next question. Now, this is our next question. First, it is given that we have to find the electric flux through the hemispherical surface placed in a uniform electric field as shown in the figure. Okay, this is a hemispherical hemisphere is given. We have to find the electric field through the hemispherical surface, through this surface only. And the second bit is total flux through the hemisphere will be 0. Explain. First, let us solve this part, because this is very easy one. As we have already know that always the inward flux is taken as negative and outward flux is taken as positive. So, you can see here the flux is entering here, or the electric field lines are entering here this hemisphere, and they are coming out of the hemisphere from here. So, whatever flux will enter here, the same flux will come out. So, the negative here the flux is negative, here the flux is positive, and both of them has the same magnitude. So, obviously, the net electric flux is going to be 0 if it is asked through the total hemisphere. Okay. Now, let us come to the first part. It is asking about the flux through only this hemispherical surface, not this entering and this one. This is an hemispherical surface. Now, let us assume it as a open surface. Okay. And through this surface, you have to assume, you have to find how much flux is going out. Okay. Obviously, the total flux means the flux which is going out. Okay. Now, see, in this question, why this question we cannot solve by direct formula. Let me first explain what is the point to be noticed here. See, if this is a surface, okay, and electric field lines are passing like this, then you can see at this point the ds vector is along this direction and electric field is along this direction. Okay. At this point the ds vector or the area vector is along this direction, electric field is along this direction. At this point the ds vector is along this direction, E vector is along this direction. Similarly, at this point and similarly at this point. So, you can see here, although the electric field is uniform, for this surface you cannot directly use flux equal to E vector dot S vector. You cannot use this. Why we cannot use this? Because in this E vector dot S vector, it is E into S into cos theta. Okay. Now, which theta value you will use? Here, if you will measure theta, it is 90. Here, the theta value will be some let 30 degree. Here, the theta value is 0. Here, the theta value is different. Here, it is again 90. So, from 90 degree, it is gradually decreasing and becoming 0. Then again, it is increasing and it is becoming 90 degree. So, from plus 90 to minus 90, every angle is possible here. So, which angle you will take here? Okay. So, it is clear that we cannot solve this question by directly using this formula. Now, if you will use E dot ds and all that integration of E dot ds, then you can find. But we are not going to use that. We are going to use a simple shortcut here. What is that? First, let me use from this is the shortcut actually, but first let me explain why this shortcut is used, how we can use that. See, why to calculate the electric field through this surface? Why not to calculate the electric field through this surface? Because the whatever flux is entering here, the same flux is coming out from here. Yes or no? Because if they are entering, they have to come out. So, why to calculate the electric flux through this? Why not to calculate how much electric flux is entering through this plane surface? What will be useful there? If it is the plane surface, okay, then wherever you choose the small element, okay, you will see that the angle between this ds vector and E vector is going to be 0 degree. So, the angle is constant. Now, if for this surface you can use this, okay, although for this surface you cannot use, but for this surface we can use the formula E dot S, because the electric field is constant and it is also making a constant angle with the surface. And once you find this, you can also find that part. What is the electric pulse coming out of this surface, and what is the electric flux entering here? It is very easy, because electric field is given as E, okay, and this area you have to use. So, by using this formula, you can write it as E into S into cos 0 degree, okay. So, it will be equal to E, S is this area, since the radius is r and it is a flat circular surface, it will have a area of pi r square and cos 0 is 1. So, the answer we got E into pi r square, okay, and the same amount, this is the flux entering this surface. So, the same amount of flux will also come out of this surface. Is it clear? So, in these cases you do not have to calculate actually flux through this spherical surface. You can calculate the flux through this and you can find the answer. Now, what is the trick here, or what is the formula here? You can prove it also. You can solve it by using this, using integration of E dot ds, and you will see that the answer is coming the same. Okay. So, this is the first bit answer, and this I already explained. Now, what is the shortcut that we got, and using this we are going to solve many more questions in this video itself. So, the formula you can remember as, for uniform electric field, remember the field is to be uniform, to use this shortcut. Flux I can write as E into area of projection perpendicular to the field. Now, let me explain what is written here. Okay. Let this is a hemisphere, okay, and electric field is coming like this, or let me show you it like this. Let I am keeping this hemisphere like this, and the electric field line is moving like this, inward direction, in the inward direction. Now, if we look this hemisphere from the direction from where the electric field lines are coming, means like this, from here. If you look from here, okay, if you look from here, then this hemisphere is not looking like a hemisphere, it is just looking like a disc, okay, or this flat surface is only visible to you, and I can tell that this surface is the projection of this surface, this curved surface, okay, this flat surface is the projection of this curved surface in a direction perpendicular to the field, because field is coming like this and this surface is perpendicular to the field. Is it clear? So, whenever it is asked to find the electric field through this surface, you can find the electric field through this surface, this flat surface. That is only written here. It is written for any uniform electric field. Remember, this formula you can only use if the field is uniform. For a uniform electric field, flux can be given by electric field, means the value of magnitude of the electric field, into area of projection perpendicular to the field. Like in this case, this is the area of projection, or it is kept like this and you are looking from this side, okay. From this side if you look, this is not going to be visible to you, this flat surface is going to be visible to you. So, I have to find out this area and this projected area, and I have to multiply that area with the given electric field, as we have done here, okay. Electric field into the projected area is this, okay, and this part is always going to be 0 degree, because you have chosen the projected area in the perpendicular direction to the field. If the plane is perpendicular to the electric field, then obviously area vector or S vector is going to be the angle between S vector and E vector is going to be 0 degree. So, you can directly write this as electric field into area of the projected plane, or area of the projected plane perpendicular to the field. Is it clear? Now let us solve. Let us see this question. This I have given as a task, but let me just explain it. Let there is a cone here, and a uniform electric field is passing like this. It is asked what is the electric flux through the curved surface of the cone. Through the curved surface of the cone. But actually, again you will see that at this for the curved surface, electric field is not making the same angle all the time. Electric field is making different angle at different time, at different element on the curved surface. But you also don't have to find the electric field through this. You can find the electric field through this surface, because electric field is moving like this, okay. And if you will look this cone from this point or from this direction, it will not look like a cone. It will just, this flat surface will be visible to you, and I can tell that this flat surface is the area of projection in the perpendicular to direction of the field. So, in this case, if the answer is asked, it is simply E into this area, okay. So, that you can find. Is it clear? So, in that case also actually the answer is going to be E into pi r square, because this radius is given again pi, r. So, this area is going to be pi r square, electric field is E. So, answer is E into pi r square, okay. I have solved the question for you, okay. Now, I will give some more assignments to you anyway. Now, this is the next question, and we have to use the similar concept in the, as we have discussed in the last question. It is given a half cylindrical surface and a electric field E, uniform electric field E is passing through this cylinder, okay. You can see that this cylinder is kept in this xz plane, okay, and electric field lines are coming towards the positive y direction, okay. I think it is clear from this diagram, and it is given that the radius of the half cylinder is r and the height of the half cylinder is h, and we have to find the electric flux through the half cylindrical surface, means through this surface. Again I can tell you, for this surface you cannot use E dot S, because for this surface the angle between electric field and the area vector is not a constant, okay. So, again use the shortcut that we learned in the last part. If you will see from this part, from this side, okay, if this is a cylinder placed like this, a half cylinder placed like this, and you are visible and you are looking it from this side, then the cylinder is not going to be visible, only you are going to see is this surface, okay. So, here also only this surface is going to be visible, okay. So, obviously as we know the formula, I can tell this surface as the projected area in the perpendicular direction of the electric field for this half cylinder. So, it will be E into area of this, let I am giving it a name A, B, C, D. So, E into projected area, okay, projected area, that is A, B, C, D. So, it will be equal to E into this area, this is a rectangle, okay. So, this area will be H into this, okay, because it is R, this length is going to be 2R and it is given as H. So, it is H into 2R. So, the answer is 2 into H into E into R, okay. So, this is the flux through the given flat surface, or you can tell this is the flux through the given hemicylindrical surface. But again, if the question is what is the total flux through this half cylinder, answer is 0, because whatever flux is entering through this flat surface, the same flux is coming out through the curved surface. So, if someone is asking you what is the net flux through this half cylinder, then the answer is going to be 0. But if someone is asking you what is the flux passing through this surface, the flat surface, or the flux passing through this curved surface, the answer is going to be this much, okay. And remember, it will never ask what is the flux through this surface, it will always ask what is the flux through the curved surface, but at that case you have to keep in mind that the flux coming out through this curved surface is exactly similar or same as the flux entering to this flat surface. Okay. Now this is the next question. Here there is again a hemisphere is there, but electric field line is not coming from here. The electric field lines are coming like this, and it is a uniform electric field of value E naught, and the hemisphere has a radius of r. Again the question is same, you have to find the electric flux through the hemispherical surface, through this surface. Now if you see this hemisphere from this side, it is not going to be look like a flat surface. Okay, how it will look like? Just for imagination, let I am drawing the total sphere. Okay, let I am drawing the total sphere here. If it is a total sphere, then there will be a flat surface like this. If we will look from this side to the total sphere, if it was a total sphere, and we will look from this side, how it will look like? A flat surface. Okay, like this flat surface. But now this total flat surface is not there, only this much surface is there from here to here, because the hemisphere is given. Is it clear? So if we look from this side to this hemisphere, it will look like this half circular surface. Okay, or it is if it is a complete disc, it was a complete disc of radius r, because this is again going to be r, because it is a hemisphere. If this radius is r, this is going to be r. So if it was a sphere and you are looking from this direction, it will look like a complete disc of radius r. But if it is a hemisphere and you are looking from here, it will look like a half disc. Okay, and again the same formula, because it is a uniform electric field, you have to use the formula. So I can tell that this surface is nothing but the projected surface for this hemispherical surface in the perpendicular direction of the electric field. So the flux is going to be electric field, magnitude of electric field E naught given in the question, into area of this. Okay, since it is a flat surface, half flat surface, you can tell its area is going to be pi r square by 2. So this is the answer. Is it clear? Once you understood the concept, these questions are going to be very easy. Okay, but these are very important questions, remember, for JEE. Don't think that sir you are solving it very easily, so it's not a question. But if you know the concept that you have to find the area for projected area, then only it is going to be easier one. Otherwise it is not a easy one. If you will try to solve it through the hemispherical surface, then you will get the answer, but you have to go through a very long derivation using integration and all that, and that integration itself is going to be very difficult. Okay, now let us come to the next question. Now this is the next question. Okay, you have to find the flux through this curved surface of the cone due to this electric field line passing through it. Okay, this is a uniform electric field given the magnitude as E naught. Okay, now you have to find the projected area first. Okay, but first you have to imagine how the cone will look like if we look from this side. Okay, let this is a cone. Okay, this is a cone, you can see. So if you will look from this side, from now as I am holding it, is it possible that we will look the total cone? You can feel it that it is a cone only if I will keep it like this. Okay, otherwise it is looking like this. So what you are actually looking? You can see that you are actually looking at triangle, this triangle. Okay, it is looking like a triangle to you. Is it clear what I am asking, what I am telling? So from here, this line, that line is coming from here, and this line, and then this line. So I can tell that the projected area of this cone when looking from this side through the curved surface is not a cone itself. It is a what? Triangular surface. Which triangle? A triangle that comes like this, passing through the center and again coming like this. Is it clear? The triangle is this triangle, this, again it is coming like this and like this. Is it clear what I am talking about? So here the projected area actually not this triangle, it is this triangle. Okay, here, and it is this triangle passing. So you cut this triangle, cut this cone, whatever shape you will get, that will be a triangle passing through this center. Okay, you have to imagine it, there is no other way you can better understand. If you once you can imagine what what the cone will look like if you will see it from this side, then the answer is very simple. Okay, so we have to find the area of this triangle. If we look from this side, this is the triangle ABC. Now if this triangle I will keep it flat, then it will be like this ABC. This length is going to be 2r, because you see in this cone itself you can see that this triangle you are looking, this triangle which is passing through the center, and this radius is given as r. So this total base of that triangle is going to be 2r, and the height is this height, okay, from here to here, okay, and this height is already given as h. Okay, so you have to find the area of a triangle which is having height h and base 2r, and we know it is very simple. So the flux is going to be E into area of this triangle, into area of triangle ABC, which is going to be E into half into base into height. So if they are cancelled out, answer is E. Sorry, it is not E actually, E naught given in the question. So E naught into R into H. So this is the answer. Okay, again let me tell, this method or this answer is not difficult. The difficult part is to imagine how the cone will look like if we try to look from this side. I have tried my best. If it is not clear, then you take a cone, try to look it, and then find why I am talking about this triangle. Okay, now let us come to the next question. This is the next question. Okay, this is not the question diagram. The question part is this. This is I have drawn just for the answer purpose. And this was a question from JEE 2011 and may also come as a higher order thinking question in board exam. So this is a shaded area given. You have to find the flux through this shaded area, and the coordinates are given. Okay, and the electric field is a uniform one, and its direction is in the x cap direction, means in the positive x axis. Now this area is very difficult to imagine in a 3D space. So I have renamed this space as ABCD. Okay, I have shown this space here, this plane here, and I have constructed a cube around this plane. Is it clearly visible how I have done? Now by using the formula that we have just used in the last question, we have to just find the area of the projected plane of the given shaded plane in a perpendicular direction of electric field. Means this is the area through which the electric field is passing. Okay, but it is the electric field is not passing perpendicular to this surface. So we have to find a surface through which the electric field is passing perpendicularly. Okay, now since this plane, you can see that plane at the back side which is shaded in red ink, through that the electric field is passing perpendicularly, because this is x axis and x axis is like this, means it is actually like this in 3D space. Okay, and the electric field are coming out like this, and the cube is placed here. Is this point clear? So these electric field lines are actually passing perpendicularly to this backside surface. Okay, and we can tell that that is the projected area which is perpendicular to the given electric field, which is again uniform electric field. Okay, so to find the flux, we can just use the formula flux equal to E into area of this backside plane. Okay, and from the coordinates I can easily find that this length and the height both are, you are going to get A and A. Okay, so if both are going to be A and A, then obviously this area is going to be A square. Okay, so because it is a rectangle, not square. Okay, because it is a surface of the cube, means that it is a square, so it is E into A square. So that is the answer. Flux equal to E, not E actually, E naught, because it is given as E naught. So flux equal to E naught into x square. That is the answer. See, this question is solved in many books in many way. They have taken the area vector, found the angle, and all that and all that. They have tried to retain the area in terms of some vector form and like that. But I think this is the easiest one to solve. But it is only easy if you can draw this, or if the idea of drawing that cube came into your mind. Okay, so this is the same formula that I have used in the previous questions. Now let us come to the next question. Student, this is the next question. I have solved it completely because this is actually very lengthy one. So to make it faster, I have solved it completely. So let me explain what is the question and how you have to solve it. And it is important one because we have to use this result in further questions to solve them. Okay, very important for JEE Main and also for NEET exams. So what is the question is all about? There is a ring given. Okay, sorry, there is a disc given, and there is a point charge q at a distance of x from the disc. These all are not given. No? This distances, this ring, nothing is given. Only a disc given, and on the axial line there is a charge q at a distance x. This capital R is given, which is the radius of the disc. You have to find the flux through the disc. And also this question can be alternatively asked like this: there is a cone at the means at this point at the vertex there is a charge q, and you have to find the flux through the cone. Same question. So here in case of cone, it may be this distance may not be x, it may be h, the height of the cone, and this radius is r, and this semi or this half angle of the cone is given by alpha. Normally the cone answers are written in terms of alpha. So I can solve this question or this question same. So I will write the final answer in terms of alpha and also in terms of x and r. Okay. Now first thing we have to see here that the electric field is not uniform, because see electric field is this, that like radially outward direction, and since the electric field is not constant, you cannot use the direct formula E into S. Okay. So first you have to assume a small element and you have to find the flux after that. So let this is a small element. Okay. A ring is a small element for a disc. A ring which is at a distance of y and having a width of dy. How I have seen that? See here this disc is kept in this surface. If the disc is kept like this, means like this, then you can see if this is the disc, complete disc, then I can assume a element here which will be a strip. Okay. Again I have let me tell, this element you cannot choose anything else that you want. It should be a element by expanding which with a certain limit you can get the total structure. So here you can see there is a strip here which is at a distance of y from the center and having a width of dy, and by extending it from here to here you will get the total structure. Okay. So this is the strip or the circular ring is the small element here which is at a distance of y from the center and having a width of dy. This width is very small, which is dy. Okay. Now let this angle is theta. This ring or this small element is making an angle theta at the center. Since this is y, this is x, this total length is going to be x square plus y square. Okay. Now what is the electric field for this ring? See, for this ring itself, I am not talking about disc. For this ring, the electric field is constant, because for this ring from everywhere you see this distance is going to be same. Okay. This is like this. So from here if you are going to look here like this, not for the total disc, okay, but for this if you will choose a small element here, then and you will find the distance from everywhere from this charge q, you will find that at each point on this small element, because this small element is having a very small width, for each of these element this electric field is going to be a constant. So to find the electric flux through this small element, we can assume the electric field as a constant. Remember again, the total electric field is not a constant, but it is a constant for this small element. Okay. Now what is the direction of this element? Since the disc is kept like this, obviously the direction will be like this. Okay, outward direction, perpendicularly outward direction like this. So this is the electric field given by ds vector, and from here to here the electric field will be like this. This is the area vector ds vector. Okay, and this will be the electric field vector. And let if this angle is theta, obviously this angle is going to be theta, because this and this are going to be parallel. Till now is it clear? Now d phi or the flux through the small element, it will be equal to E vector dot ds vector or E ds cos theta, because angle between them is theta. Now what is the electric field at this point? K into q by r square. What is r? R is this distance. Okay. So k or 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by this distance whole square. This distance is x square plus y square root over. So its whole square is x square plus y square. This is the value of E. Now what is the value of ds? ds means area of this small ring. To find it easily or to understand the area of this easily, let I have caught this and I have spread it like this. Okay. If I will cut and spread, what will be this length? Because it is a circular one, its circumference will be 2 pi into radius. So it is 2 pi into y, this length will be. Okay. And this thickness I have assumed as dy. So it is a rectangle having a length of 2 pi y and width of dy. So what will be its area? Its area is going to be 2 pi y into dy, and cos theta is already there. Is it clear? Now in the next step we can see that here 2 pi and here 4 pi, so cancel out and I have written the remaining thing. So this is the d phi. Okay. Now what is the total phi or total flux? Integration of d phi or integration of eds? This I have done eds and found this d phi. So just put the value of d phi we got from here in this equation. Okay. The equation will be like this. But we cannot solve an integration like this. Why? Because here we have to do the integration with respect to y, but theta is also not a constant. Theta is a variable, because if we assume the element here very nearer to the center, the theta is going to be approximately 0. If we ring are assumed here, here and here, the theta value is gradually increasing. If the ring will be here on this circumference of the disk, then theta will be equal to alpha. So theta value is changing from 0 to alpha. So theta is not a constant, and you cannot do the integration like that. We have also done this type of integration previously. How? By using substitution method. We have to write this total equation either in terms of theta d theta or in terms of y dy by using substitution. And what we have to substitute there? From this triangle, you can see from this triangle, tan theta will be equal to p by b or y by x. So tan theta equal to y by x, or y will be equal to x tan theta. Integrate both the side with respect to theta, dy by d theta, and this here x is constant taken out, d by d theta of tan theta will be sec square theta. So dy will be equal to x sec square theta d theta. So you got two replacement. In place of y you can write x tan theta, in place of dy you can write this. So put all these values in this equation. Q by 2 epsilon naught as it is. In place of y I have written x tan theta. In place of dy I have written x sec square theta d theta. Okay, and cos theta as it is, divided by x square plus, in place of y square I have written x tan theta whole square. Okay, is it clear? Now here you can see here x and x, it is x square, and remaining thing as it is. In the denominator x square plus x square tan square theta. So I can take a x square common there, and it will be 1 plus tan square theta. So x square and x square cancel it out, sec square theta and this will cancel out, because 1 plus tan square theta is nothing but sec square theta. So they are cancelled out. So the remaining thing is this tan theta into cos theta. Tan theta is sin theta by cos theta, here cos theta. So cos theta cancel out, remaining thing is sin theta. Tan theta into cos theta will be sin theta, very simple trigonometric functions. So it is 0 to alpha, because theta is changing from 0 to alpha as I explained here, and it is q by 2 epsilon naught sin theta d theta. Now if you do this integration, sin theta integration is minus cos theta 0 to alpha, put the limit, you will get this answer. Phi will be equal to q by 2 epsilon naught 1 minus cos alpha. Okay, or you can write it as phi equal to q by 2 epsilon naught 1 minus cos alpha. What is cos alpha? From this triangle you can find, from here to here it is r and it is x. Okay, so in place of cos alpha you can write this x divided by this total distance. This will be x square plus r square root over. From here to here it will be this is x, this total is r. Remember, this distance is x square plus y square root over. I am talking about this distance. This will be x square plus r square root over, because this total distance is r. So if by chance it is needed or alpha is not given, the question is given in terms of x and r, then you can replace this cos alpha by x by root over of x square by r square, and that will be the final answer. And remember this formula, it is very very important. Okay, this formula you have to remember. What is this formula? This is the electric flux through a cone if a charge q is placed at the vertex, or this is the flux through a disc if a charge q is placed at a distance of x from the center on the axial line. Okay. Now let us solve some question in which we are going to use this itself. Okay. Another thing, this is one method I have told. I have another method. This is a very lengthy method. Okay, we have another method by using solid angle in which we can derive the same answer very easily. Okay, first let us do that, then we can solve some question which uses this result. Okay, this is the second method using which we are going to find the result of the last question in a easy way. This actually involves the concept of solid angle. Okay, but if you don't know what is a solid angle and what is the relation between the half angle and the solid angle of a cone, then there is a link given in the description. You go through that link, that video, and then you can come to understand what is written here. I am going to use two results. First, if a cone is making an solid angle of omega and having a half angle of alpha, okay, then there is a relation between them given by omega equal to 2 pi whole into 1 minus cos alpha. And another result, a sphere makes an angle of 4 pi, solid angle of 4 pi steradian at the center. Okay. Now we know that if there is a charge and it is placed inside a sphere, then it is going to give a flux, okay, all through the circular surface, spherical surface, and obviously since the enclosed charge is q, the total flux is given by q equal to q by epsilon naught, and this is for a solid angle of or through a solid angle of 4 pi. Okay. Now if for 4 pi solid angle you are getting this much flux, for 1 steradian or 1 unit solid angle, how much you will get the flux? Flux will be equal to q by 4 pi epsilon, q by epsilon divided by 4 pi. Okay. Now if the solid angle is this much, okay, means if the solid angle is given by 2 pi into 1 minus cos alpha, for this much solid angle, what should be the flux? That should be equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 pi whole into 1 minus cos alpha. This is unitary method. For 4 pi solid angle, the flux is this much. For 1 unit solid angle, the flux is this much. For this much solid angle, the flux is this much. Okay. So if you cancel them out, then you will get the result that we have obtained in the last one, that is q divided by 2 epsilon naught whole into 1 minus cos alpha. This is the required flux. Okay, you can check that in the last case also what you have done using integration is the same answer we got, and you can compare these two answers. Okay, although the answers are same, the step involved are completely different, and it is a easiest one. So if you remember this formula and if you know this one, then by using that two result you can derive it very easily. And to understand it, again I am repeating, go through the video whose link is given in the description. Thank you. This is the next question, and we are going to use the result that we got in the last part, okay, or the last method. So here it is the question. A cylinder is given of height h equal to 2r, it is given, and the radius is equal to r, means the height is twice of the radius. Special type of cylinder is given, and a charge q is placed at the center. It is asked to find the flux through the curved surface only, okay, through the curved surface of the cylinder, only through the curved surface. Remember, it is a closed surface, so if the total flux is asked, obviously the answer is going to be q by epsilon as per Gauss law. Okay, but here only through the cylindrical surface, only through this curved surface we have to find. So what we are going to use here is that, let us join these two points and these two. Now if it is a cylinder, you can assume that this part will make a cone and also will this part will make a cone, and obviously if it is at the center, this distance is going to be r and this distance is also going to be r. Okay, and since this radius is r and this height is also r, this angle is going to be 45 degree. Means I can tell that this is a cone of having an alpha value as 45 or half angle as 45 degree, and I can find the flux through this cone, because see, if this is a charge kept here, the flux will go through everywhere, means like through this cone, okay, through this curved part, through this cone, through this curved part, like this, through everywhere. But if we found the flux through this cone and the flux passing through this cone, okay, and if we will subtract these two fluxes passing through these two flat surfaces, passing through these cones means passing through these flat surfaces, then obviously the rest fluxes are passing through the circular surface. Okay, so what will the flux through this surface? Use this formula. As we know, it is the formula for finding out the flux through the flat surface of a cone. So, and in this case, this alpha is given as 45 degree because it is r, it is r. In by chance, if the question is not given h equal to 2r, then you can use h by 2 here, and cos alpha you can find by using this triangle. You can find cos alpha and put that answer. But it is a special case, and we know that here alpha equal to 45 degree. Okay, so flux through this cone, let it is given as phi 1, okay, or phi, let I am writing it as phi through cone 1, that will be equal to also phi through cone 2. Okay, whatever flux will pass through this, the same flux will pass through this, because same angle will be there. Here also the angle is going to be 45 degree. Okay, and that will be equal to how much? Q by 2 epsilon naught whole into 1 minus cos 45 degree. Okay, so what will the remaining flux? So I can write it like this: flux through the curved surface will be equal to Q by epsilon naught minus twice into this value, 2 epsilon naught 1 minus cos 45 degree. Is this point clear? Okay, because the total flux is going to be Q by epsilon naught, this is the total flux, minus flux through this plus flux through this, but they are same, so I have to write twice of flux through one cone. Okay, now put this value and get the answer. Now it will be Q by epsilon naught minus, here it will be, here this 2 and 2 are cancel out, this is Q by epsilon naught whole into 1 minus 1 by root 2 cos 45, it is 1 by root 2. So if I will take Q by epsilon naught as common, it will be 1 minus 1 plus 1 by root 2, or if they are cancelling out, the total flux or the answer is going to be Q by epsilon naught or Q by root 2 epsilon naught. This is the answer. Is it clear? So this is one application of the result of this that we got in the last part. Okay, now let us see another example of application of the same formula. This is the next question. A diagram is given and you have to find the flux through the spherical surface. Okay, and here the charge Q is kept at a depth of h from the this flat surface at a depth of h. Again, and see, here I have made this cone, but in exam this cone will be not made from the initial state. You have to remember, you have to imagine that you can made a cone here. Okay, so I think once you see the cone, the answer is very easy to understand. See, the what is the total flux is going to be Q by epsilon naught. Okay, and the flux through this cone, subtract the flux, this is the total flux through this closed surface, and subtract that from the flux passing through this surface, because flux is going everywhere, okay, in all the direction. So through this surface, if you subtract from the total flux, then you will get the flux through the spherical one. Okay, so it is q by epsilon naught minus, the formula is q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus cos alpha. Okay, this is the flux through a cone as we have derived earlier. What is the value of alpha here? This is the alpha. Okay, but here alpha value is not given, and so we have to find the value of alpha. How to find? See, if this height is h and this height is r, then this side will be going to be h square plus r square root over, and obviously in this diagram I can write cos alpha as, here I can write cos alpha will be equal to this base divided by hypotenuse, so it is h divided by root over of h square plus r square. Now put this in this equation and find the flux. Is it clear how to do? So just let us put the values and to get the answer. It is q by epsilon naught 1 minus h by root over of h square plus r square. Okay, or equal to q by epsilon naught, if you take common from both, then it will be 1 minus 1 plus h by root over of h square plus r square, and if they will cancel out, the answer is q by epsilon naught into h by root over of h square plus r square. Is it clear how to do? Okay, students, this is your next question. We have to find the this diagram is for the question. This I have made to make you understand what is how to approach the answer. Okay, so the question is, you have to find the electric flux through the shaded curved region of this given hemisphere. Okay, so as we know, if it is a sphere, total sphere, then the total flux passing through is q by epsilon naught, and through the hemisphere, through the spherical surface of the hemisphere, total spherical surface of the hemisphere, it will be q by epsilon naught divided by 2. Okay, and if we subtract the flux passing through this surface, or I can tell the flux passing through this cone from this answer, then obviously we will find the remaining flux passing through the shaded region. Is it clear? So for this cone, we know the flux through a cone formula is this. Okay, and here cos alpha, what is alpha? Alpha is a half angle. So for this cone, alpha is here, and obviously cos alpha we can write it as, see, this is the radius. Okay, because it is a sphere or it is a hemisphere, this part, so this is going to be the radius r. Okay, so cos alpha we can write it as base by hypotenuse, or this is nothing but 2 by 3r divided by r. So this cancel out, and the remaining part is q by 2 epsilon naught minus q by epsilon naught into 1 by 3, 1 minus 2 by 3. So that will be, if you take this common, q by epsilon naught 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3, or the answer will be this much, q by 6 epsilon naught. This is going to be the answer. Is it clear how we have done that? If you know this formula, then this is a very direct question, and this formula, this result we got from the last question itself. Okay, last two question itself, and you have to find, or you have to imagine from where you have got this cone, why you have taken the flux through the cone. Okay, because to find the electric flux to shaded region, we have to find the electric flux through the total hemisphere and subtract the value of flux passing through this remaining area from that value, that we have done here. This is the flux through the total sphere, this is the flux through the total hemisphere, this is the flux through the cone, and total hemisphere flux minus flux through the cone, we will get the answer, that will be the flux for the shaded region. Okay, now let us come to the next question. Student, this is the next question. Although this question does not look like comes from these same concepts, but we can use this the concept that we learned just in previous questions. So what is the question? There is a bulb here whose power is 100 watt and it is kept at a distance of 3 meter from a surface. This surface is kept like this, okay, in vertical way, and there is a circle made in that or there is a hole, circular hole made in that surface. The radius of that circular hole was 0.4 meter. You have to find the power passing through the hole in the sheet. Whatever power is passing from here, you have to find that. Okay, now first let me explain how this is useful or how it is the same as we have solved till now. See, flux is not only from electric field, flux can be found out for any vector. Okay, here like flux is coming, electric field lines are coming from a charge. Okay, similarly here line or light will come in every direction. Yes or no? Like from a point charge in every direction, the electric field lines are coming. Similarly, from a bulb in every direction, radially outward direction, the light will go. Okay, so it is radiating the light in all direction, but we have to find the light only for this region. Whatever light has passed from this region. Okay, now can you imagine how to connect these two questions? We know what is the total flux, how much for a charge. Okay, I am not going to the power. In many books this question has solved by going to intensity, power and all that, but here I am not going to use any power expression or intensity expression or like that. Let us assume that it is a charge, and we have to find the flux passing through this, electric flux passing through this area, and we know how to find that. That formula will be, flux will be equal to how much, q by 2 epsilon naught into 1 minus cos alpha. Okay, this is the formula what we are going to use. Okay, here what is the total flux? Let the total flux I am writing it. Okay, this flux let I am writing as phi dash, and the total flux will be equal to q by epsilon naught. If it is a charge, it is producing a total flux of this much, but only this much flux can pass through this surface. Okay, the result as we got from the cone case. Okay, so if I will write this phi dash by phi, then I can get, see, this q and q will cancel out, this and this will cancel out, the answer will be 1 by 2 1 minus cos alpha, or I can write phi dash will be equal to 1 by 2 1 minus cos alpha into phi. Is this clear? Now can you use the same thing in case of light also? Obviously, because here like in a charge, electric field lines are going, from a bulb light are going. Okay, light rays are going, so obviously we can use this ratio in this question also. Okay, so how to do? Whatever power coming from this shaded region or from this hole, circular hole, will be, that it is p dash, that we can write it as 1 by 2 1 minus cos alpha into p, where p is the total power of the bulb and p dash is the power through this. Because if only some rays will pass, then the intensity will change, and obviously if the intensity changes, the power also will change. Okay, and the ratio of the power is exactly going to be the ratio of the intensities. Okay, so this is how we can do that. But now you can see this two, how I have this and this formula, how I have compared. Here flux dash was the flux through this area and flux phi was the total flux. Here also I have written the similar type of thing, but in place of this electric flux I have written it as power. Now just put the formula 1 by 2 1 minus, what is alpha? Alpha is this half angle, where if it is in this cone, this is going to be alpha. Okay, and what will be cos alpha? X divided by this, and this distance is nothing but x square plus r square root of. Okay, so it will be 1 minus x by x square plus r square root over into power, the total power that is given as 100 here. So 100. So if they will cancel out with 50, so the answer is going to be 1 minus x value is given as 3 divided by root over of 3 square minus plus r given as 0.4. So it is 0.4 square whole into 50. Now you solve, you will get the answer. Is it clear how to do it? Okay. So these are maybe not directly looking like coming from the chapter electrostatics, but you can use the concept that we learn in electrostatics. Now let us go to the next question. These are the assignments for today. Try to think the answers. The answers are given in the description link, but before going to the link, think by yourself and try to find the answer. Thank you for attending today's class. In the next class, we will go to see some derivations for board exam point of view, and also we will check some applications of Gauss law to find the electric field for complicated charge systems. Thank you.